Hi guys, and welcome to the Homeschool family. My name is Ilona and I'm a mom of 2 kids who are right now in kindergarten and 5th grade. We are almost done with the school year, so I thought that's a great time to go over our curriculum picks and just talk about what worked and what didn't. I have a list right here that I wrote at the beginning of the school year of all the curriculums that I was planning on using, and I needed to write that to submit to our charter school. However, now that I look at it, seems like almost half of it we didn't really use. So let's go through it one by one. We're gonna start with language arts. For language arts, I was planning on using Brave Writer Dart. And we used it, it worked. The only problem is we didn't use it as much as I thought we would. So Dart is designed that you read 1 book per month and you go through it, and then every month you pick up another one. We did maybe 2 all year. We definitely did not go through 10 books. So it's great, we just didn't do it enough. We kind of let the language arts slide a little this year. I feel like next year we definitely need to pick up and do more language arts. That was usually not in our priority this year. Another thing we did is we read, let me see, Little House in the Big Woods. And this is a little curriculum written by Heart Magic. And we did this one mostly because it was part of our homeschool co-op was working on it, and I wanted to work on it with my younger daughter. So we kind of did it family style. So that was one of the books we read for 5th grade also. Next up is the Thinking Tree journal, Literature and Poetry. And this one we use pretty regularly. We used it once a week, but that was our plan to use it once a week. Every Tuesday is our poetry tea time, and we make tea, we eat cookies, we read poetry, and then each kid has its own level. This is level B. My daughter has level A of this fun schooling journal, and they just read a little poem in there, and then there's some questions that they fill out. So we used it, we didn't finish it, we're probably going to continue using it, but kids really liked it. They enjoyed poetry tea time. Next thing we use for language arts are these fun schooling journals, Spelling Time and Top 30 Grammar Mistakes. We didn't use those every day, however we did use them, so it counts. That was our spelling and grammar right there. For grammar, we also use Khan Academy. Top 30 Grammar Mistakes is a pretty funny journal. It goes through some mistakes like, how do you know when to use by, or by? And it gives you a little bit of information about it, some examples. Then it wants you to write some silly sentences with that rule, and then draw an illustration for your sentences. Spelling Time journal has a list of 150 commonly misspelled words, and then the whole journal just go through few of these words at a time, and you have to color them, write some sentences with them, then fill in the blanks. So overall, it pretty much just works by, if you see it and write it multiple times, eventually you'll just memorize it. Another thing we used for spelling, which wasn't just spelling, it was mostly a typing curriculum. It was called Touch, Type, Read, and Spell. And we did use that at the beginning of the year, but since we've been using it for a year already, around November, I think, our subscription for a year was expiring and we had to make a choice, do we want to pay for another year or not? And we decided to stop it, not because it wasn't good or it wasn't working, it's just because I felt like my son already was good at typing and it wasn't worth to keep it just for the spelling component, so we just quit using it. And that's about it. That's about all we use for language arts. So now let's move on to math. Math is really easy because we only use two things. We used Beast Academy level 4, and the levels in Beast Academy don't correspond to the grade levels. So level 4 in Beast Academy is more advanced. So for a 5th grader, I feel like that was a good level. And we also use Prodigy Math, which is a math game, and we use that more like a supplement. Whenever my son got bored with Beast Academy, we would just switch for a couple days to Prodigy until he was ready to use Beast Academy again. So now let's move on to science. For science, we used Science Mom Chemistry, and I have the, let me open it. I have the notes printed out here. And Science Mom is another video-based program that you watch a lesson. Lessons are usually 40-some minutes. And then while you watch the lessons, you fill in some of the blanks in the notes. There's some songs included in here to make things easier to memorize. There's hands-on activities included. And we did use it. I like that program. We didn't finish it. And it's probably my son's ADHD fault because he gets into something, he's really interested, he was interested in chemistry, he wanted to learn that. He really loves science, so we do a lot of science. We do science every day for about an hour. But then after a while, we went through like 2/3 of the program, and then he just wasn't into chemistry anymore. He wanted to start something different, so we just stopped using it. And then after a few months, he came back to it, but he wanted to start from the beginning. So that's what we're doing. We're going through it again, and we're probably not gonna finish it this year. So yeah, Science Mom, definitely like it. Recommend it if your child likes video-based curriculums, which we do. I think it was a really good curriculum. But what else did we use for science since we didn't finish it? We also used All About Space Fun Schooling Journal. And this journal, my son always been really into space, so he really wanted this journal. It's really thick. There's a lot of pages here. And we obviously didn't finish it. We have a hard time finishing almost anything we start. But my son did enjoy it. However, it took him a long time to work on this. I think that just the writing things in a journal may not be the best way for him to learn. And every time he had to work on it, you have to use other books from the library or some other space books that you have around the house. And for him, it was hard to find information. So there's things in here that you have to fill in the blanks. And for example, choose a person or a topic to study. Astronauts, NASA engineers, astronomer. And they want you to write something about one of the space discoveries. And he had a hard time researching that. He didn't know which one to pick. And it was just a struggle for some reason, even though he really likes space. The topics here were kind of vague, and some of them are very specific. So with the specific ones, he's having a hard time finding the specific answer in random books. And then in those vague ones, he has a hard time choosing what to really write about. So I'm gonna hold on to it If he feels like working on it, he can. I am not forcing him to use it, so this is more like a supplement. What else did we use for science? We also used Generation Genius, which is another video-based program. And that one was also kind of hit, kind of miss. So we liked it. It was more of a supplement to us though. So we watched the videos, we really enjoyed the videos, but we didn't do almost any of the other activities that are designed to go along with the videos. The hands-on activities just didn't seem very interesting to my kids, or they've done those activities before in the past, so they just didn't feel like doing it. So when they felt like watching a video, we watched one or even few videos at a time, and that was about it. That's all we did with Generation Genius. Great videos. I don't know if it's good as a supplement, but I don't know if I would recommend it as like a full curriculum. We also did a unit study on the human body. That was just a unit study that I put together myself, so I am not gonna show it because I just took information from all different sources on the internet. Another thing we did for science was more like a computer science. My son really likes coding, so we did a lot of Scratch coding. We did Bitsbox, which actually my son prefers Scratch more than Bitsbox. But we have the Bitsbox. He did some of it, quite a bit of it. We still have plenty more to do, so we're probably going to come back to it. Another thing he also did that I count as science is robotics. So he goes to a robotics class once a week where he learns coding and robotics. They build robots. But what I would recommend for anybody that doesn't have access to an actual in-person class about robotics and who is interested in something like that is my son also got this Lego robot kit where you can build 5 different robots, and he started working on it. He definitely didn't finish. He's still building the first robot. He likes it, so I recommend getting like some kind of robotic kit if your kids are into robots, because all you have to do is download the app and all of the instructions are on the app. It tells you step by step what you have to do, so you don't have to know anything about robotics for your kids to learn robotics. So any type of robotic kit like that. This is not cheap. And technically this Lego set is discontinued. They still sell it, but they're discontinuing this whole line of Legos. But there's other Lego sets that could be used for educational purposes for robotics. So definitely look into Lego sets for robotics. We were thinking about using Mystery Science for our science for 5th grade. However, we didn't use it. We didn't pay for the subscription only because we had access to Generation Genius. So I didn't feel like paying for both of these programs since they're very similar. So I wrote that on my list and I never used that. Another thing that I never used was another Thinking Tree journal about, it was a survival guide. Never used it. And another journal from the Fun Schooling was 12 Months in a Forest. We also never ever used that one. There also is another nature study handbook that we have that we didn't use. So yeah, a lot of these Fun Schooling journals, I have a lot of them and we didn't get to use a lot of them. Maybe it was just too many. One more thing we also used was Mel Science Chemistry. It's a subscription box and we use them every once in a while. We had a whole year subscription, so we do have a lot of those boxes. There's still a lot of them that we never opened. So yeah, we probably should get working on them more often. However, they're nice, they're enjoyable. My kids enjoyed doing them. they just don't really ask to do it. And that's probably why I never pulled them out, because I thought they would be more excited about doing those science experiments. And since they didn't ever ask, then we didn't do them that often, unless there was some kind of lesson in Science Mom. And when I knew that, oh, we have a male science chemistry box that goes good together with another experiment that they do with Science Mom, then we would pull it and do that experiment. But yeah, we didn't do it every month. So now let's move on to social studies. And for social studies for our 5th grade, we mostly used History Quest. And this year we were going over Middle Times. And this was a hit. We definitely liked this one. My son likes it. We were thinking about using it together with my younger daughter, but she was definitely not interested. She's definitely too young for it. But my son really likes it. This is the 2nd year we're using History Quest, and we will continue using it. Another thing we used for social studies was this journal all about money, learning business and economics. And this book kind of goes together with this book, Whatever Happened to Penny Candy. Yeah, we used this one a little bit. We didn't use it as much as I thought we would. So that's probably another reason, just like all those other fun schooling journals, my son just doesn't like a lot of writing, and it may just not work as good for him. I love the idea of these journals, but for some reason they don't work very well for my son. Okay, so what else did we use for 5th grade? Well, I'm Polish, so we're learning Polish language. Both of my kids go to a Polish school on Saturday. However, we also every once in a while use this foreign language fun schooling journal. And I really like this one. Even though we didn't use it that much, just because he did have a lot of homework from Polish school, we definitely are going to use this one over the summer. Again, it's like a blank. It doesn't necessarily tell you what to learn, but for example, you write 10 new words about food. And since I speak Polish, I can definitely help him with that. Or write 5 new phrases, and you have to write your phrase and then you translate it into Polish. You can use this journal for any language. That's what's nice about it, is you don't have to be learning Polish. You can be learning Spanish or Chinese or whatever language you choose. You can use this journal for any language. So I would definitely recommend this one. And we will be still using it. And this journal is normally much thicker than that. I just didn't print the whole thing. I just print a little bit at a time, just so it's not like a big bulky journal. What else? My son also learns to play piano. So for piano, we use Hoffman Academy. And we love Hoffman Academy. My son is on Unit 9 right now. He's been doing it for a little bit over 2 years. And he learned so much. He never actually had any other piano lessons with an actual teacher. All he ever did was the online lessons. And you can do Hoffman Academy. All the videos are for free. So we're not even paying for the subscription. You just follow the video, and if you pay for the subscription, it gives you sheet music and it gives you homework and it tells you what you should practice. But if you don't want to use that, you can definitely just watch the videos for free. And it's a great program. I'm probably gonna make a whole video about Hoffman Academy because we love it so much. And I'm gonna put a little clip of my son playing piano just so you can see how much he learned in just 2 years. He used to play guitar, and I was hoping that we're gonna continue learning guitar. However, that just didn't happen this year. He totally just switched over to piano and basically didn't touch the guitar for almost a whole year. Up next, art. For art, we don't use like a one specific curriculum. We do a little bit of art that's included in our history quest. We do a little bit of art that they just come up with art projects on their own. And another thing that I was planning on using for art is DIY.org, which is a website that has all kinds of educational videos. It's not just strictly about art, but we do have a lifetime subscription to it. And my son just enjoys every once in a while. He goes through like a whole series of educational videos there. He watched one about how to start a YouTube channel, and he does some art tutorials in there too. That's what we used for art. And there's one more thing that we covered this year, and I'm glad we did. So we have a subscription to GoZen. And GoZen is an emotional intelligence program that kind of teaches you about anger management and anxiety and just all kinds of different things. Like, you don't really have to have anger problems or anxiety to benefit from those videos, because it's another website video-based program that I just love. They have short cartoon videos, and then after each video there's some questions that you can ask your child. There's discussions, and we just kind of talk about what he's learned. And I really like this program. So we used it last year. I also bought a subscription for next year, so we're going to continue using it because I feel like emotional intelligence is just really important. And yeah, we're putting priority to that. We're definitely going to continue learning that. And I think that's it for today. That's all I have to show you about the 5th grade curriculum that we used and some of them that we didn't use. So I hope you liked this video. I'm gonna also make another video about my daughter's curriculum picks for kindergarten. So stay tuned for that, and see you next time. Bye!